My biggest thought is this. Clients pay us money to do SEO.
Okay.
And I know for a fact, if the user experience is bad, the site isn't going to convert, which means the site's not going to generate leads, not going to generate sales.
Yeah.
So for me, a good user experience actually makes your SEO more profitable. Yeah, there might be ranking factors, but the biggest thing is that a good user experience makes your SEO more profitable.
Hey, Marina here. Welcome to Chats with Sellonites, where the crew comes together and we talk all things digital marketing, business, and everything that is in between. And today you are very lucky to have the topic of SEO, basic terms explained. I am pretty excited because I know nobody else that knows SEO as well as he does, and that is Dave Crowder. What's
and
up?
Hello,
Hi.
and you have to say this, not only is this my beautiful wife,
Hi.
but my cheerleader, but I do appreciate the intro, and I'm excited to kind of just break down some of these basics today.
I think it's really special to be able to come into this room and talk about SEO. I am in a different department, which is, in the social media department, but then also looking after, GBP and also as well as the team. But to be able to sit here and talk about SEO is good for me because then I'm going to be learning, and I hope every single one of you guys will learn as much as I will today. So, all right, let's just dig straight into it.
Awesome.
SEO 101.
Great.
Let's start with something very simple. What is SEO and why does it matter to every website today?
Great. Okay, so SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and it stood for that since the beginning when Google came out. And basically, Google still is the biggest search engine around. There isn't no other platform where people go to actually make buying decisions. So if you're in business, you have to be on Google because your customers are there. Yes, there is Facebook, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, but there isn't anything like Google where people go to make buying decisions or find things they're trying to solve their problems. So that's why, as a business owner, it's just a crucial place for you to have a presence on. And search engine optimization is the thing that helps you get found on Google.
That's awesome. I hope you learned something very simple but very powerful there to every business owner out there. People often hear technical SEO,
Okay.
on-page SEO, and off-page SEO. Can you explain a little bit on what it means?
Great.
In plain old English.
Great.
Please.
So we've got search engine optimization. That's the overall what SEO is. Now, within that, we break it down into 4 buckets, okay? And what you just mentioned, technical, on-page and off-page, there's 3 of those buckets. So let's the 4th one we usually include is content as well, but let's leave that off today. So let's talk about technical. And I like to keep things really simple so it actually makes sense and you know how to tune up the things that matter to get you found on Google. So technical SEO literally talks about the technical aspects of your site. Does your site load well? Is it structured well? Is the code written well? Does it load fast? All those technical things need to be working for people to actually have a good user experience. So in the simplest terms, I would say if people can use your website really well, there's no problems, it's loading well, and people can see everything on there, your technical is usually pretty on point. Okay, we could go deeper and deeper, but let's just keep it so people can take something away. Cool. So at the simplest level, if people can use your site well, you usually got your technical pretty bang on. Mm-hmm. Okay, now on-page SEO, that's the next one. Basically, what on-page SEO is if you wanted to rank for a certain term, all you're doing is building content that's relevant to that term and then making your page relevant to that keyword or the theme of that keyword. So for example, if you wanted to rank for best hairdresser in Brisbane, you would need to create a page that talks about the best hairdresser in Brisbane. And on-page optimization is just the process of creating content that matches that keyword. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's still on your website. So you've got your technical stuff. I look at that, you get that right, it kind of takes the handbrake off. Okay, so then Google likes your site, they like indexing, they like crawling it and things like that. So basically, they enjoy it and they'll put you into the index. Then on-page optimization actually gets you relevant for the keywords that you want to rank for.
Wow.
Okay, then the third part you talked about is your off-page, and in short, what your off-page SEO does, which is just basically backlinks, so links on other websites, it tells Google how many other people around the internet are saying that you should rank for the keyword that you're trying to optimize for. That's the simplest way that I can explain it. We can go deeper, and there's like PageRank and all this other stuff and the quality of a backlink. But in the simplest form, it's just votes from other websites around the internet that lets Google know, okay, not only are they relevant to this keyword, all these other people are telling us that they are relevant and they should be ranked, and that's what pushes your website up in the SERPs.
Wow. That's not just bite sizes, but they're actually very good food for thought in that area. So now I know how long you've been doing SEO for, but could you tell the people on the other side of this screen on how long SEO, like how long you've done SEO for?
Yeah, it's got to be coming up on close to 15 years. So because I started direct response marketing in 2007, and we started applying these things that work offline, online, started building websites, and then we kind of probably 2010 or so, we started really understanding SEO and how it works, and started working with clients around that as well.
And we like to say that Dave was a marketer first and then a geek second. So there are definitely two very crucial superpowers that comes together in the digital marketing agency world. So yeah, it's really good.
And especially how Google's evolved over the years.
Yeah, right.
It used to be just algorithmic and you game the search engines, but nowadays if you don't understand marketing, you're going to have a hard time ranking
That's right. And well, that brings me to my next question. How has the meaning of SEO changed over the last few years?
Well, I don't think the meaning's changed at all. It still means search engine optimization.
Okay.
But what I just alluded to there is that early on in the days, you could get away with all this technical stuff, all of this formulaic stuff on how to do SEO. And it was just all these geeks doing SEO. Nowadays, if you understand marketing, if you understand how to create content or a website that your users will enjoy and is relevant to people and actually helps them solve the problem that they're trying to solve or find the product that they're trying to find, you're going to do pretty well at SEO. So I think the biggest shift in SEO over the years has been that it used to be very formulaic, trying to rank for one keyword.
Okay.
But nowadays, we don't look at it as just one keyword. It's an array of ways that people search for the problems that they're trying to solve or the products. They do it in all different ways. And if you understand how to create content to get in front of your customers or your clients with that type of content, that's been the big shift in how SEO works and differently compared to the start.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. When someone Googles something, Googles something, what actually happens behind the scenes? I really would like to know.
This is pretty complicated. Let's see if we can break it down in the simplest terms though. So when someone types in a query into Google, Google has billions and billions of pages that they have, it's called indexed. What that means is they have it's like a big library of pages. So if you think about your library store, there's books and different themes. They usually do it alphabetically to try and organize it. Sometimes it's by themes and genres and things like that. In the simplest form, that's what Google has as well. There's big library of different information.
Wow.
Now, let's say someone types in basketball. Now, Google knows, okay, that could be a sport, that could be a product, that could be a player, that could be people wanting to learn history, all these different intents. So in the background now, so first Google has this big index. Now to manage that, they have what we call algorithms. Okay, so, and the algorithms tune up of how well Google understands what that person actually wants. And Google has been refining these algorithms for over 10 years now and are continuing to do so to give the most relevant results. So it's a big index of information that through their algorithm, they're able to bring up now their best 10 results. That's really in the shortest way what's going on behind the scenes when someone types in a search.
What do terms like crawling, index, and ranking really mean, and how do they work together?
Great. So we talked about how Google has this big index of information, of pages around all different topics. Now, the way that they get this information is they crawl websites. Right. So it's like if you think of a visitor, they're just visiting a page on your website. So that's what crawling is. It's their bots, because it's just a software. Okay. It's their bots going to web pages and looking at that content.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you got these little bots going around and just going to page to page to page to page. Now, if they like what they see and you're not doing anything naughty, or if you've got quality content, right, what they'll do is they'll actually say, hey, this is actually really good information. Let's put it in our library. Okay. Let's put it in our index. Wow. That's when you get indexed. Okay. So now they say this content is actually worthy to be in our index, and it probably is relevant to our customers, to people going to Google. So we've got crawling, indexing, and what was the last one?
Crawling, indexing, and ranking.
Okay. So, and then, the ranking is really just an outworking of that. So they've crawled your page. They found it worthy of having it in their index. Now you got to let them know, or tune it up by on-page SEO and then off-page SEO to let them know that you should be the number one result, that you're the best solution to those phrases.
Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. What are the main reasons a website might not appear in the search results?
Cool. Usually it's the number one reason would be you've got this is a little bit more technical, but you've got a no index tag across your site. So you're telling Google, don't let your crawlers come in here. That's what a no index tag is. So you're telling Google, do not crawl my site, do not index these pages. That's usually, and it happens more often than not by web designers and developers that don't actually understand SEO, where they send sites live. And then the clients come to us like, well, we've built this brand new site. The site looks awesome. Our customers love it, but we're not found anywhere on Google. Mm-hmm. And what happens is they've put a no crawl kind of command on the site, a no index command, and then Google just won't actually index the site because they can't. It's like they're coming up against a door that's shut and you're not letting them in. Wow. So that's the no index. But that's probably the first thing. There could be other reasons. If you've got content that's just no good, it costs Google resources to crawl all these pages. So if you've got bad content, or if it's not worthwhile for them crawling those pages, they're not even going to crawl them, which means you're not going to get them indexed either. The other things are if you're doing things against their terms of service, there is that argument of duplicate content, but those are all kind of the reasons why potentially you're not getting indexed.
Is it still important to submit your site to search engines, or is that automatic these days?
Cool. It happens automatically, especially if you've got a good quality site. Sometimes we let Google find our content just naturally, so we don't tell them anything about our new content or anything like that. But then other times you can go to Search Console. You can submit the URL or your website and tell Google to crawl it. So you're force crawling the page. That's what it's called in the industry. So there's different situations when you would do that, but you can definitely tell Google about it. You don't really need to submit your site to the search engines. They just kind of find it over time.
Okay. And how can business owners check if their websites is being indexed properly? Yeah,
super simple. Here's what we do. You press, this is the command to put into Google. You type in site, your URL, you press search, and if your website doesn't show up, or if no results shows up at all, you'll know that your website isn't indexed. But if you put in site, your URL, and then that URL shows up as the result, you'll know it's indexed.
Okay.
Super simple command.
Wow. All right. So let's talk about keywords. What are they really, and how should beginners think about when they're using them? How should beginners think about using them?
Yeah, great. Keywords, people overcomplicate it. In the shortest and easiest way to understand this is that keywords are just the terms your prospects, your customers, your potential clients are using to find information about what you do on Google. Okay. So it's what they type into the search results. That's what keywords keywords are. Now, what you've got to understand is, what are those words?
Right.
So what are those potential terms? And a real easy way to figure that out, like you can use tools like Google Keyword Planner or all these other keyword tools, but the simplest way to figure out what they're doing is just talk to your customers and say, how did you find us?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, on Google. Well,
That's
what
great.
did you type in? Well, we just typed in this, and this. So now you know, okay, if this person's done it, let's ask the next customer. They say a similar thing. Now you know the type of keywords you need to go after.
Yeah, okay. What's the difference between keyword stuffing and natural optimization?
Yeah. Keyword stuffing used to work so good early on, and basically what it means is you wanted to rank for the words let's call it IT company. You would just put the words IT company all over the page.
Right.
What even worked early on really, really well, and this is what I talked about with the algorithms just changing and tuning up. The same things still work that worked way back. It's just that there is a tuning up of algorithms going on now. But back in the day, before this tuning happened with the algorithms, you could actually hide those keywords by just making them the same color as the background of your web page, and that would work.
What?
You do that today, you're triggering you're not staying in the boundaries, you're going to get penalized.
Wow,
and you're not going to
that's
get
so
ranked.
sneaky.
Yeah, but those kind of things used to work.
Yeah, okay. My goodness. How can small businesses find the right keywords to targeting without overcomplicating it?
Yeah. Talk to your customers.
Okay.
Just ask them, what are you typing into Google? How did you find us? That gives you a really good start. Then you can use tools like Google Keyword Planner and just put that keyword that you figured out from your customers in there. And what Google will then give you is all these other related
That's awesome.
terms.
Yeah.
And there's your keywords. No need to complicate it any further.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Just call your customers, pick up the phone, and ask your customers. How do things like search intent and relevance come into play?
Yeah, this is really, really important now because Google understands when someone types in a certain word, what that actually means, what they're trying to achieve, what's the intent of them typing that in. So is it that they want information? Is it that they want to find a product? Is it that they want to find and talk to a business owner? Google understands that. So what you need to understand as a business owner is, what is the intent behind this? Is someone trying to figure out how the process of what you do in your business works?
Right.
That's an informational intent. Or is someone trying to find you and your business to help them actually do the very thing that you do? We call that commercial intent. And that's same with products. If someone's typing in a product name, that's a high commercial intent, and you need to optimize your page around that product name. But if someone types in, what does this product do? That's an informational term, and more than likely, a blog post would come up. So see how you need to understand intent, so you understand what kind of content you need to create. Is it a service page? Is it a product page? Is it a blog page? Your intent will tell you the type of content you should be creating for it.
Wow. Okay. What are the key on-page elements every page should have?
Great. Most of them, if you're building a website, will naturally have these.
Okay.
So, but you can tune up different elements. And I think the main ones you want to focus on for SEO, it's just basic stuff. I mentioned earlier that Google's algorithms, the way Google ranks sites hasn't changed. They've just applied these algorithms that now you have to watch and stay between certain boundaries to not get penalized. But the main things a page should have, you need to have your title tag, which most pages will have. You need to have your H1 tag. Now, some pages don't have that, so you need to make sure you have that. So that's kind of like your headline. And you need to have content on the page. That's probably the big three. Have a title tag, have a H tag, different H tags, and then content. So that's the main three that will help Google understand what your site's about. Now, there is also further ones that you can have to help Google better understand what the page is about. So your H2, H3, which allows you to further drill into the topic that your H1, your headline has set. So you can use those to go deeper into a topic. You can have images on there, so that's a really good thing. You can have interlinking, and that is really kind of, you can have multimedia on there as well, all types of different stuff, software even, that just helps your users better use the content, but Google also better understand what a page is about.
Okay, and can you explain what title tags and meta descriptions do? How to write the good ones?
Yeah, and how to write a good one.
Yeah.
So your title tag is kind of the gateway to your page.
Right.
If you think about it this way, when you type something into Google and all the results come up, the blue headlines, they're your title tag of the page. Mm-hmm. So it gives Google the first impression what this page is about. So that needs to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah, right.
Now, if your title tag doesn't relate to the keyword, more than likely, and there's two thoughts to this, but more than likely you won't rank for it. Mm-hmm. The more Google understands what keywords actually mean, sometimes we see pages ranking where the keyword isn't even in the title tag because the rest of the content really well explains what that keyword is. But we won't get into that. That's semantic SEO, super deep. But the title tag should really have, to do it well, have your keyword in there. And then the second part of the title tag should sell the click.
Wow.
So that's my rule of thumb, that you make it keyword relevant and then sell the click. So if someone searches for a keyword in Google and then they see your headline in there, one, you have to have the keyword in there to be relevant, to rank. But two, you want to get the click. Just ranking on the first page isn't good enough. You want to get that traffic to your site. Okay. So sell the person on the click. So what's the benefits? Why are you different? What makes you unique? And put that stuff in there, because if you put your keyword in there, you've already got the relevance. But if you get clicks, your rankings are going to shoot through the roof. So go for the click in your title tag.
Go for the click. So when you said H1, H2, for those who don't know what that means, it's like headings, right? Mm-hmm. Heading 1, heading 2. So how important are headings like H1, H2 for SEO?
Yeah, great. So title tag's really important to kind of let Google know what this page is about. That's the first thing they'll look at. Now, your meta description, I believe, and from our testing, we know that helps with rankings as well. Whether it's because its click-through goes up or whatever, but you want to use your meta description. If someone's, if your title tag's really good, a lot of times people will just read the meta description to see if this is actually the right information they're after. So you got to use your meta description as well. Again, for me, it's to get the click. So sell the click with your meta description.
Okay.
Now, where your H tags come in, over the years, SEOs have abused H tags, notoriously the H1. So what we have found, and Google doesn't comment on this, but what our testing has found is that the H1 actually isn't as important as the H2s and 3s anymore. Wow. Okay, so that's kind of a testing thing we found over the years. But I still use the H1. The way that I like to think about it, it sets the theme.
Yeah.
And then your H2 narrows in on it and lets people know and like process the theme. So so H1 is kind of an overview. Then you break it down into subjects within that overall view. So subject 1, 2, 3, or ABC, still related to that overall theme. And then your H3 breaks the H2 down. So it's like the H2 processes the H1, the H3 processes the H2, and it just gives you depth of information around the subject you're trying to rank for.
I hope that taught you something, because it really did teach me. So how should people structure URLs, and does the wording really matter?
Yes. I think the URL is one of the most important ranking factors that I know.
Why is that?
And the reason is that once you've set your URL, once you've got your domain name, it's very hard to change your domain name.
Okay.
But once you've set your URL, you can change it. But changing the URL means there's a big on-flowing effect. Mm-hmm. Now, my rule is with Google algorithms, the harder it is to manipulate something, the higher the value, the higher the ranking factor of that very thing.
Yep.
And that's why I believe your URLs are a really high ranking factor, because once they're set, they really should just be set. Yes, you can change them, like I said, but if you change it, all your backlinks have to be redirected to that new one. All your internal linking structure changes. The theme of the page changes. So you really want to just kind of nail it and then set it. Now, how do you nail it? You want to make it as as understandable to Google as possible without waffling on. So let's say you're ranking for a blog post, how to train my dog. You wouldn't make the URL how to train my dog. You would just call it dog training.
Wow.
So see how I've summed up what this whole page is going to be about?
Yeah.
So you go dog training, and then your H1 is how to train my dog.
Okay. Your
title tag is how to train your dog, 5 different steps.
Okay.
See how it's like the keyword and then 5 different steps sells the click?
Yeah.
So that's how you want to optimize your title, your URL.
That's great. How do internal links help both Google and visitors understand a website a whole lot better?
Great. Well, it helps Google understand that you don't just have one page talking about that keyword. Mm-hmm. So if you have multiple pages that are relevant to your main page, Google starts to see you as an expert.
Okay.
It starts to build, okay, they don't just understand this subject on this level, they understand how this next subject influences this subject, how that next subject influences this subject. And you want to think about your user. If they're interested in this subject, but then if they're interested in this, they're probably interested in that subject too. And that subject too, you got to give them opportunity to further explore the subject. So you want to link to content that's relevant in that journey of finding that information. The big mistake, and this will just break theme relevance, that's what we call it in Google, is that people just link for the sake of interlinking. So this subject A within this column will then link to something over in subject C, which hasn't even got anything to do with this first subject. So you want to keep it tight. That's probably the biggest mistake that we see, is that people just link everywhere and it confuses Google. But if there's that core pillar, we call it your pillar article, and then there's 5 supporting articles, which is the cluster of that theme of the keyword, and they all interlink, it makes sense.
Right.
But this pillar shouldn't then link over here or this article over here somewhere, because it breaks theme relevance.
How does your user experience affect SEO these days?
Yeah, look, there's arguments out there that it affects rankings. My biggest thought is this. Clients pay us money to do SEO.
Okay.
And I know for a fact, if the user experience is bad, the site isn't going to convert, which means the site's not going to generate leads, not going to generate sales.
Yeah.
So for me, a good user experience actually makes your SEO more profitable.
Okay.
So that's how I feel that user experience actually affects SEO. Yeah, there might be ranking factors, but the biggest thing is that a good user experience makes your SEO more profitable.
Wow. And why is mobile friendliness so important?
Yeah, right. Well, the first thought would be because of the amount of mobile phones there are now.
Okay.
So 10, 15 years ago, or I don't know how long ago the iPhone came out, but that long ago, not many people had mobile devices.
Okay.
So it was just all computers and laptops. So
Yeah.
it was all desktop driven. But now Google's actually rolled out a mobile first indexing system.
Interesting.
And they actually use that exclusively now. Now, the thing is, within Core Web Vitals in Search Console,
Yeah.
if you're not getting those your mobile signals right, your entire site suffers, because Google uses mobile first indexing to crawl sites and do all these stats. So your desktop could be great. If your mobile is not up to par, it's going to actually drag everything else down.
Yeah.
So that's why it's super important to really nail your mobile stats.
Yeah, well, everything's on the phone these days.
Yeah, but Google also exclusively uses it because they know how much search happens on mobiles.
On mobiles, yeah. What does page speed or Core Web Vitals actually measure, and how do they impact rankings?
Yeah, good. So page speed, pretty simple. How fast does a page load?
Okay.
Core Web Vitals, it's more user experience stuff as well and some technical stuff. But in short, the faster a page loads, the more things you have right on the page, the better the user experience. Now, the better user experience, more conversions, which then makes your SEO more profitable.
Yeah.
So we talked about that before. So that's how it really impacts everything, and that's why they're important.
Yeah.
That's how they get measured. So the faster a page loads, the easier it is to use a page. You have better user experience. That's what Core Web Vitals and page speed is all about. The quicker your page loads, you have better user experience, better conversions, more money. That's the point of the whole exercise of SEO. We want to generate more sales.
Yeah, that's right. What role does accessibility like image alt text play in SEO?
Yeah. So the first part's probably that if you put your alt text in your image, it makes it easier for Google to understand what the image is about. Because again, remember, we're dealing with bots, we're dealing with software. So the more information you can give Google, so your EXIF data, if you put the alt tag in there, if you let Google know what this image is about, they'll understand it better and it'll help you build more relevance, which is a ranking factor. Now, the other thing that happens is people that are vision impaired and they use things like screen readers, it'll actually read out what this image is about.
Okay.
So it's the vision impaired people actually have a better user experience by having that kind of data behind your images. And then the last thing is, and we probably don't see this too much anymore, but some people still have slow internet connections. And if you think back to the 90s where the page, but the page used to load like really slow.
Yeah.
And none of the images would load, but the alt text would load.
Yeah.
It's a better user experience to have that there. Now, we don't have that problem that much anymore because we got pretty fast internet. But some people will still have slow connections. Yeah. And it just gives it, again, a better user experience in that scenario as well.
All right. I love this because I've just learned what backlinks are just recently. So, Dave, can you tell me the role of backlinks in SEO today?
Yep. In my opinion, the role of backlinks is whether you'll rank in a top spot or not.
Boom.
And here's what I mean by that. So you can get your technical stuff and your on-page stuff right.
Yeah.
And you'll register, maybe on the first page, maybe on the second, third page, depending how competitive the market is. What your backlinks do is they push that result up the rankings. Okay. Because your technical and on-page will tell Google this is what we're relevant to, but then your backlinks tell Google how authoritative you are on that subject and how high you should rank for it. So that's the importance of backlinks is really, if you want to rank in the top 3, backlinks is what's going to get you there.
Wow. How can small businesses earn good quality links without resorting to spammy tactics?
Yeah. And again, I don't know if there's spammy links out there. That's pretty controversial for me to say that because we call them spammy links. But I remember right at the beginning when this all started back in 2000 and so, every backlink was go. Right. So Google didn't care about backlinks. Now they brought in an algorithm, we talked about this, where they tuned things up. And now all of a sudden we call them spammy backlinks. But all it is really is if you don't fit within these boundaries, then they're not going to actually use those backlinks and count those towards your authority. That's really where we're at right now. Okay? So I haven't actually seen backlinks affect sites negatively.
Right.
Back in the day, it used to, but Google's gotten so smart and tuned up their algorithm that they just ignore them. Okay? I actually think they still pass power. So based on different tests, but we won't delve into that. Now, but for business owners to stay, if you don't understand that, because you can play on the edge if you go over the top, it may cause problems. Right. But for a business owner to stay safe within those boundaries, look at the things that are natural and that your business should be on. So your citation types of sites. So if you're a local business, get links on Yellow Pages, on Facebook, on your Google profile, on True Local, all these kind of citation sites. They're natural links. They're authoritative sites, reputable sites. Get those first. Then look at where else can I get a backlink. So you could do a YouTube channel, get links from there. You could do a Pinterest page, get links from there, an Instagram page. So these are just natural progressions. Then the next level kind of like a really powerful, so when you want to operate in a competitive market to get a really good backlink, be a guest on someone else's website, like on a podcast, or write an article about your subject and tell another industry relevant website, I'd love this to be published on your website, and then I can just get a link back to mine to let them know I wrote it.
That's
As we call that guest blog posting or guest outreach, that's probably the basic ways to get backlinks that'll keep you within the boundaries of staying safe.
Yeah, that's so good. If you are a small to medium-sized business owner, I hope that this is very helpful for you. Backlinks are quite important, and looking after the Google profile, Google My Business profile, it's really important to be able to get those things
implement.
Do social media mentions or reviews influence search visibility?
Yeah, right. So we haven't seen those backlinks from social media mentions, or if you cite like your article on Facebook, really impact rankings that much.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that they don't. Again, it's that filter that Google has in their algorithms, how they count backlinks. What we have seen is that if you build your brand mentions across social platforms, if more people find you on there, then they search your brand on Google. That really helps rankings, because Google now starts to understand that you're a reputable brand, that people are finding you around the internet, and that makes you, your brand, your website, actually more authoritative in their eyes. So indirectly, it does influence rankings, and it's a good thing to do. Especially if you've got good content going out.
What's the difference between no follow, do follow, and internal links?
Great. Now we're going deep. Now we're going complex, geeky. All right. No follow just means, and we'll keep it simple again though.
Okay.
No follow simply means that you're telling Google not to pass authority from this link to the next link.
Okay.
Do follow is literally the opposite. You're telling Google, I want you to pass authority from this page onto the next one. Okay? What's the last one? Interlinking.
Yes.
Now, interlinking within your website are just
internal linking.
Okay, so internal links within your website are literally just links from one page to the next page. Now, here's the powerful thing in SEO. Let's say one page is really powerful, but you also want to rank this page, and this page is actually relevant to it. You can push a link from this page, internally link to this page, do follow, and it will actually tell Google will then pass on the authority of this page to this page, which then makes this one rank higher as well.
What are some outdated SEO practices that still pop up today?
Well, this will be controversial. I reckon there isn't actually any outdated SEO practices.
Okay. Why is it so controversial though?
Because I myself have said before that, that doesn't work anymore, or
Right.
this doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
The thing is, it still works, but Google has refined their algorithm, which determines to what degree it works. So if you think about it like this, I don't know if you've ever seen a sound desk at a music concert. Now, each one of the dials matters, okay? Each one of the dials will do something. And that's with the practices like SEO practices, your title tag, your content, backlinks. All of these basic SEO things have always worked and still work. But now Google will determine if this is too loud, it throws the entire sound out. Or like if we're going into that example, so let's say in the concert, if this one instrument's too loud, it'll make the band sound bad. If this drum kick's too loud, it'll overpower everything, it'll make it sound terrible. If this is not working at all, then we're missing something. So basically, in a good concert, you have to tune everything to the exact measure that'll give it a beautiful sound.
Yeah.
And I think that's how the algorithm works as well. That's how I've seen it. Google, all of these channels still work. All of these tactics still work. But for you to rank, you have to tune them to just the right thing so your site plays beautiful music. So your site tells Google exactly what it's after, what it's about, without kind of going too loud here or too soft here. If you don't have enough of something, if you don't have enough backlinks, you're not going to rank. If you have too many or too much spammy ones or ones that Google doesn't like, you're going to go overboard and it's going to put everything out of tune. So you need to really tune all of the signals, all of these practices in line in exactly how Google likes it. And that's what search engine optimization is. It takes time. You're not going to just get it right. You can apply things that we have learned over the years, but you then got to stay, I call it either within the boundaries or tune it to the exact spots that your site needs to be able to rank.
Okay. Well, I just think like my next question, just for my sake or anyone else out there that is also questioning, how do you know what is the right tune and how much is too much?
Yeah, awesome. Know? So it comes down to experience.
Yeah.
So we have these set dials where we know this works, this has always worked, this has always worked in these different markets.
Okay.
Then we also know, okay, well, in this market, you can actually push things further.
Yeah.
So that comes down to experience. But really, search engine optimization. Optimization means that you're going to continue to tune it up. So you've got the dial, you're going to put it to 5. Okay, we've increased in rankings a little bit. We're gonna tune it up a little bit more. Oh, our rankings popped up again.
Right.
We've tuned it up a little bit more. Oh, we've gone backwards. Okay, let's reestablish the tune. That one's set. We can't go any further. It's the perfect one. Let's go to the next factor. Tune that up. Optimize that factor. And that's probably why business owners don't understand, like, to really tune to the number one spot, it takes time.
Yeah.
Because every market's different, every website's different, every industry is different. And yes, we know the basics of what works, but it's the continual optimization that gets you right to the top.
Yeah, awesome. Is there such thing as too much SEO?
Yeah, never if you stay within the boundaries.
Yeah, okay.
So it's when you go overboard. It's when you do too much of things that throw you out of those out of those boundaries. That's when you actually, and that's so many SEOs don't test things. So we have testing sheets where we say we did this. Over the next 2 months, we're going to look at what did it do? Did it do positive or negative? If it's positive, we keep it. That's our new control. If it's not good, we go back to our original control. So that's what it's testing 101. And too many SEOs don't do it. They don't even keep record of the things that they change on a site. But if you have a good testing control sheet, you can never do too much, because if it goes negative, you just return of the one, you undo it and you go back to the one that gave you the best result, and you tune something else.
Awesome. What are the simplest mistakes that can stop the site from ranking well?
Yeah, just not doing anything.
Yeah.
Just leaving the site as is. But you have to do your basic SEO stuff.
Right.
So optimize your page. If you're not doing that, you're not being relevant.
Right.
Okay? Make sure it works. So this is your technical stuff. So if you're not doing that, you're not going to have a good user experience. So even though if your optimization is really good, but your backlinks are really good, you might rank, but then you're not going to convert the traffic. So it's making sure all the basics are well done, and then probably talking to a specialist that can help you really kind of dial in on the important things.
If a business owner could only fix one SEO issue a week, what should it be?
Understand the intent of your keywords and create awesome content for that person that's looking up that keyword.
All right, so for someone brand new, what is the best order to learn SEO, and what should they focus on first?
Cool. Focus on creating awesome content on your website.
Yeah.
Then focus on getting your website out there.
Yeah.
On page and off page.
Okay.
Focus on creating content, make sure it's a good user experience, you're on page, then find ways to get links.
What free or affordable tools are worth using early on?
Early on, use Google Search Console.
Okay.
It'll give you data on how many people are coming to your website organically, what keywords that they are using, what you're ranking for, where you're ranking for. It's a treasure trove. We're in there every day. That's the main tool we still use now.
That's awesome. So, and last question, what's one thing about SEO you wish every small business owner understood better?
Don't get hung up on keyword rankings.
Okay.
Focus on traffic,
Amazing.
conversions,
Yeah.
and sales. That's where the money is. That's how SEO is shifting. It's not just about ranking your keyword. It's about being everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, you can measure that by how much traffic is coming from your SEO, how much conversions you're getting from SEO, and how much money you're making from SEO. So that's how you should be judging and focusing on when doing your SEO campaign.
Well, that is absolutely brilliant. I don't know about you guys, but I have learned so much about the basics of SEO. We are a very passionate digital marketing agency that wants everyone to grow and wants everyone to learn a whole lot more.
Yeah, so that was great. Thank you so much. It's some of the basics that people get wrong. So I hope business owners, this has helped you.
Yes.
If you'd like some help with your SEO, hit us up, websites@sell.com.au. We'd love to have a chat and help you get these basics right, because most of the time, that's all that's required. You nail these basics, you tend to rank.
That's right. And like I said, we're so passionate about this. One thing we'd love for you to do is hit the like button, subscribe, so that way every other business owner can see the great content that we're giving out to people. So until then,
Next one.
yeah,
We'll
catch
see
you
you
for the
then.
next one. Bye.